Hello, hello, hello. You're returning to the episode of The Wunderkind Show. Today's first topic. EDC says, hey, look, it was my idea to draft Lamar Jackson. Look. Guys, now, I'm not going to put words in his mouth, but I have a video to show you guys of EDC being in an interview and pretty much saying, look, my plan, his plan, working with Ozzie Newsome, knowing that it was a changing of the baton, right, was pretty much that he was always going to get, or he was always aimed at getting Lamar Jackson. And not only was he aimed at getting it, there was a very intricate way of drafting, so that it would look like they had no way of knowing that they wanted him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the audio, and then we're going to break it down even further, all right? So without further ado, let's go see exactly what he means about it was his idea.
Lamar Jackson to come visit us in Baltimore. We didn't bring any other quarterbacks in that year. You know, we did like some quarterbacks. We figured they wouldn't be there when we picked.
Right.
So we felt like Lamar might be the one guy that had a chance to be there in the 20s when we picked. One of my jobs as a scouting director at that time was to assess league value. How do other teams feel about these players? That's a big part of my job. Still is.
Very smart.
And I felt like Lamar would be there in the 20s, maybe in the 30s, but definitely in the 20s. And so how do we get him? We brought him into Baltimore. The nice thing about a player that doesn't have an agent, there's no leaks.
Yeah.
Right? No one knew that Lamar Jackson spent a day and a half with us in Baltimore. I got one call from somebody in the media. They said, I heard Lamar Jackson might have visited you guys. I said, no. Can you prove it? Like, why do you say that?
Yeah.
He goes, well, I just kind of caught rumblings of it. I said, well, if you want to report it, you can, but you might be wrong.
I put money on that was Jamison Hensley. I put money on it was Jamison Hensley. You hear what he said? And then because he didn't get it, that's why he be going so hard against Lamar. Because like, oh, I knew he was there, and they wouldn't tell me he was there. I put money on it was Jamison. But let's continue.
I'm not going to say one way or the other. Well, it turned he did spend the day with us. So at some point then, as we got closer to the draft, the idea was to get as many picks as we could, to trade back as many times as we could, either take Lamar or draft another player, but have a backup plan we might get back in.
Yep.
And Howie Roseman's a guy that, he always makes trades. He loves to make trades. He and I have made a lot of trades together. We're pretty active on draft day, mostly going back.
Hi, Roseman.
And, I learned from the Joe Flacco trade. We had the 8th pick. We went back to 26, and we went back up to 22. We got Flacco. That if you assess league value, you can go back and still get your quarterback.
Right.
And so the idea was we were going to do the same thing with Lamar as we did with Joe. So we went, Howie was willing to trade. We went back. We ended up drafting Hayden Hurst because we went back. Hold
on. So pretty much just to let you guys know, Howie Roseman is the Philadelphia Eagles GM. Thank you, Howie Roseman. You did us a solid. Birds of a feather flock together. Like, bro, shout out, bro. And I'm here celebrating, Jalen Hurts, everything else, and now finding out that, Howie did us a big favor by, Everyone said it wasn't a favor. That's a favor because he didn't have to move down. It was barely any spots. Man, look at here. All right, let's continue. Let's continue.
Back again, we ended up getting some 2/3 and a 4th as well. But Howie was willing to trade out of 32 and take our second and give us 32. So we ended up drafting Hayden Hurst at 25. Kevin Byrne, our PR guy, wanted us to go downstairs to the press conference. Kevin, let's just hold off. The scouts and coaches, they thought we were done. They thought we were done.
Done for the night, yeah.
So Ozzie would always sit at the head of the table, still does. I sit to his right. Steve Bisciotti's across the way, talking to John. They're high-fiving, they're happy, whatever. I looked at Ozzie and I go, let's call Howie. And he said, you want to? I said, yeah, let's call him. So I call Howie. Howie says, I want to do it. So I looked at Ozzie. I said, get Lamar on the phone.
Hey!
Ozzie called Lamar. I'm on the phone with Howie. We did the trade. We turned it in. No one even knew in the room that we were doing it. No one was paying attention.
That's wild. Yeah.
And all of a sudden I go, hey, guys, we just got Lamar Jackson. And then we were doing it.
That's awesome. That's awesome, yeah.
Lamar Jackson to come visit us in Baltimore.
Bro! Yo! Listen, I want to make sure that I say this. I'm extremely hard on EDC. I gave him a good grade for this year, especially after picking up Derrick Henry. But to find out if this is 100% accurate, to find out he is the catalyst in which we were able to get Lamar Jackson. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you, bro. You deserve some love. If I see you face to face, man to man, I might gotta give you a hug. And I got big shoulders too. Come here. Come here. Ask Lamar. When I get him out, he was like, oh my God, you're huge. Pause. But yeah, bro, like straight up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, I'm gonna be real with you guys. This is because we're never privy to everything that happens in the draft room. We're not privy to what their mindset is going against or trying to acquire certain players. Now, would I have went for Hayden Hurst knowing that Lamar Jackson was still on the board? No. But earlier on, he was talking about trying to give Joe Flacco help while still trying to get Lamar Jackson. So Joe's there present. They were like, if we get Lamar, he's our future. So that's what I wouldn't have taken it because Hurst, there's no way. I believe I would have got Hurst in the second. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. You know what I'm saying? No big deal. But it worked out. And we got Lamar. And now we're moving forward to this. But it's such a crazy game that they play. Now listen, does this, he got Lamar, so now you can think he's the best GM in the world? No. The best GM in the world is Howie Roseman. Other than that now. That man plays for keeps. He don't play games. He's the only GM that I've seen that has been able to weather the departure of not one, multiple coaches. He's been able to weather changing of the quarterback multiple times and still somehow be able to pay everybody, still somehow be able to acquire free agents, still somehow be able to keep his talent, and still somehow be able to remain competitive and great in a league that literally predicates itself on change. Look, listen, Roseman is the best. The best of the best of the best, sir, with honors. Yo, straight up. So there's no, we already know who he is. Howie is Howie. Howie is Howie. And I ain't talking about Hungry Howies. Howie is Howie. He is done, that man, the magic he does in that office, listen, man, it needs to be studied. If I'm going into the league to be a GM, that's who I'm watching. I want to remind everybody, and I already said this, multiple head coaches, right? Still competitive, still a great team. Multiple quarterbacks, still competitive, still a great team. He's paid multiple guys top of the market money and still somehow is able to finagle the cap that he still has more room to sign more and have enough for his rookies and have multiple draft picks. Was it the last draft where he had 2 number ones or something of that effect? He is him. If you want to talk about somebody that lays out the board and gets the most out of it, it's out. So I'm not saying that EDC is the best. What I'm doing is I'm giving EDC the tip of the cap. Because look, we could be as hard as we want on people and everything else, but right is right, wrong is wrong. If he was the catalyst that orchestrated the pickup of the draft of a Lamar Jackson, he deserves that credit. Even though it was Ozzy's last draft, it was EDC's thoughts. It was EDC's plan. It was EDC's foresight that allowed us to get that. And I'm not somebody, no matter how I feel about it, to poo-poo on somebody's. So even though Ozzy gets the pat on the shoulder for drafting a Lamar because it was him as the GM, EDC was the mastermind behind it, which is crazy to me. Crazy. But if that's true, then you're looking at EDC saying he orchestrated Lamar, Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Madubuike. Like, he's put in some work. So do I think, listen, he already admitted in this, I'm going to cover another part of it later about his insight on the offensive line and how he wants to, how hard it's been to maneuver it and stuff like that. But outside of that, the offensive line and pass rush, those are the two that I feel like he needs to finish building. But he's done a good job with receivers, tight ends, because I forgot about Isaiah Likely. Justice Hill, I forgot about him. He brought Derrick Henry. He got Derrick Henry here. So tip of the cap to him. Well-deserved. You know what I'm saying? I'm hard on people, but I'm fair. I always tell people that. I might be a Scrooge at times, but I'm fair. Right is right, wrong is wrong. So shout out to EDC. What a story to say that that's how they came about getting and acquiring a Lamar Jackson. And that one move changed the whole trajectory, the whole fan base, the temperature of the organization. And remember what he said, no one knew. So everyone was like, you got Lamar Jackson? Don't you still got Joe Flacco? Bro, I'm just being real. But what do you guys think? Were you impressed by this story? Was this what you thought of that's how Lamar Jackson was picked up and brought to Baltimore? Let me know what you think down in the comment section, please, all right? Because shout outs to him if this is 100% true. Shout outs to him. We got, to me, the best quarterback in the league because of EDC. Because of his due diligence. And that's just factual. But as always, that's an episode of The Wunderkind Show. Thank you for watching. And now we get down, we have fun, and we laugh. But everything we talk about, we're doing what? Facts and truth. Please do remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment. You know, love the comments. If you haven't done so already, check out The Wunderkind Show's Patreon. Yes, 3 tiers of content goodness waiting for your consumption. Give it a look, give it a try. Let me know what you think. And if you would like to donate to this channel, help out with equipment and such stuff like that, bottom of the screen, QR code. QR codes to a Cash App. Cash App located in the description of every video that we do. Name of it is $, The Wunderkind Show. Super easy. But once again, it's The Wunderkind Show. This show is not just signing off. And as always, you know my slogan. Peace. And I am out of here. Huh? Yerp.
Finish him, Daddy. You're not my